Hey everybody, what's up? It's Rob. Today is Wednesday, January 29th, and I'm here at the CityFam offices. I'm sporting my new CityFam hoodies. What do y'all think? I actually love them. I got these for some of the memberships, some of the members of our leadership team, or my people that really just kind of support me and add value to my life. Bought some of these as belated Christmas gifts and gave a few of them out already, but yeah, they turned out really nice. I like them. I'm actually maybe ordering more, so a couple people have already messaged me on social media and told me that they wanted one. If you'd like one of these for yourself, I can get you one. Feel free to PayPal CityFam, PayPal admin at CityFam, $35, and if you need me to ship them, at $5 one of that, so make it 40, and if you're international, add another $5 one of that, make it 45, and I will get you one. Include your size and shipping address. But I want to just jump into it. I'm going to try to get more consistent on the times. I'm going to go do my vlog every Wednesday around this time, sometime in the early afternoon. So look out. But I want to start a little differently today. I want to start by answering a question, because sometimes I get questions. Pretty regularly I get questions. People ask me on via email or on Instagram or whatever, usually relationship related questions, and rather than answering them through their inbox, I want to go ahead and do that on my video to start out. I'm not doing the Ask Robs anymore, so this will be a good way for me to respond to them. It'll be time effective, hopefully, and then maybe actually there's other people out there with the same question. So I got a message the other day and it said, "Hi Rob, I've been to your talks. I am a Facebook friend. I wanted to ask you something that, if presented in the Facebook page, might sound pretentious. I was just reading your post in the Why Waiting Works page from Dale Partridge, how a man should be, among other things, the provider, etc. Recently, I've scared more men away in my age bracket," she's 52, in the 52 to 62-year-old age bracket, "because I have more than they have. I currently own 3 homes. I would like it to be 2, but as they are all mostly divorced men who have typically given up a lot of what they have accumulated, they cannot see themselves as the provider. The last guy told me I am in a totally different socioeconomic bracket and cannot be my match. I do not care about the money. I'm 8 years a widow. I work hard and I take calculated risks in the interest of quality of life. How do I maintain honesty and transparency and not scare them all away by taking away their need to provide?" So, great question. I thought about it a little bit before I went live. And first off, I would say to this woman, I won't say your name, is that you can't do enough of the right things for the wrong person. So this person that told you that they're not your socioeconomic match and then they had to bounce, it wasn't because of that. Because honestly, if they liked you enough, they would have stuck around. The fact that you have money is not what's scaring them away. It's just they weren't willing to commit. I'm guessing that the woman that wrote me this is waiting, so if that's the case, they may, or maybe you're not waiting. Maybe they had sex and they bounced and that was the excuse they gave you. Or maybe you're waiting and they just weren't willing to commit. I can guarantee you that if someone like Beyonce, she wouldn't have any problem finding somebody. You know what I mean? She's got more money than 99.9% of the men out there, and there would be a line a mile long of people that would want to date her regardless of how much money she had. So that's not the issue. The issue, I would say, is you need to work on you. You need to become the best version of yourself. And as you become better, you'll be able to attract a man of the caliber that you're looking for. But going back, what I would say is if you have more money than they have, that's okay. Just don't, especially in the beginning, don't be the person that's paying for everything. A man, you emasculate him. There may be some men that will let you do that, but that would be a red flag for me. As a woman, that is. If I were a woman and there was a man that was letting me pay for everything, that would be a red flag to say, is this person in it for the right reasons? So I would say, let them pay, let them lead, let them hold the door open, pay for your dinner. Offer to pay some. I always enjoyed it actually when women would offer to pay, and I would let them pay maybe like 30% of the time for coffees or little things. It let me know that they weren't just gold diggers. But don't pay for everything. Let them pay. And then at some point, if you have more than them and they maybe move into your house or whatever down the road, I think that's okay. But you need to establish in the beginning if they're in it for the right reasons and not emasculate them by paying for everything. So that would be my answer. Hopefully that clears things up for you. I was talking to a friend the other day, and I just had a little bit of clarity on something I've never said before and never really explained in regards to the waiting topic. And it was, I was talking about how, so basically in every previous relationship that I've ever been in, it always started with sex fast. And then we would drift into a relationship. And I see that happen a lot. Actually, that's what's typical these days. I've been on several podcasts, and people, they question if I know what I'm talking about, because they're like, well, everybody we talk to that's in relationships that say they started as a hookup. And I'm like, of course, that supports what I'm saying, because people are sticky. We're like glue. You start having sex, and then all of a sudden you stick to the wrong person. So when you do that, when you have sex, and then you continue to sleep together and drift into a relationship, or maybe you're having sex in your relationship and now you drift into marriage, you rob yourself of the process of choosing what you wanted most. Think about it. Because you never go through the process, which is what I'm going through now. Like I said, I'm a great test experiment, where you go, no, not really what I'm looking for. And then eventually you get to somebody and you go, yes, that's the person, that is someone, I'll commit to that person. And then you say, that is what I want most. You don't get to go through that process when you're having sex. You drift into it. You just kind of drift into it. And that leads to is the position that I was always in, which was I was looking over my shoulder all the time, wondering if I could be happier with the next person. Looking at someone else. There's plenty of people that are attractive. So then you start wondering, could I be happier with them? Could I be happier with them? Because you never went through the process on the front end. So I don't know if that clears things up, but it was just something that I've never said before, and something I've really never crystallized even in my own thinking. So anyway, what's going on in my life? Just catching everybody up, staying consistent, documenting the journey. Things have been pretty good. My mood level has been good. Texas, I think, was really good for me going down there. Spent some time in Galveston, got a chance to link up with the team in Houston, and work some, didn't set an alarm for the most part for about 2 weeks. So I was able to get some good rest, and I feel pretty good. I've been feeling lighter again. I actually just did the Stop Dreaming, Start Creating workshop with CityFam, and that was really nice. Really was able to get clear on some things related to what I'm trying to accomplish over the next 12 months, but even more so, like, areas that I've neglected as I've burnt the candle at both ends to get to this point. Like specifically relationships. Like I work, I do CityFam social events, and I work a lot, and I volunteer, and I go to church, and it's a lot of self-development, but I haven't taken a lot of like me time, so one of the things that I decided to do is I want to spend like 2 nights a week with family and friends. I think I was originally going to try to do 3 nights. I think that's a little ambitious, but just 2 nights where I'm like, I leave the office at like 6 or 7 maybe at the latest, and go to dinner with somebody and just kind of catch up and really figure out, cultivate relationships, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm excited about it. The other thing I really decided at the Stop Dreaming, Start Creating workshop was I'm going to start getting to bed by 9 p.m. My goal is 5 nights a week, so that I can get up at 4 o'clock, and you could easily get sex with that badass sweatshirt. Love it, Nick Blackburn, thank you. What's up, Linda? How's it going? Who else is on here? Let's just see. Kimmy King, Dorica, who else? Annette, yes. Ronald Kelts, what's going on, brother? Old friend. Jimmy Akers, how's it going? Jessica Lynn, Corliss. That's kind of like my goals. As I want to start getting to bed by 9, I want to get up at 4. I have gotten up at 4 a lot, for a good majority of the past several years. I got away from it a little bit because I was just burnt, but I need to get up early. I need to read 30 minutes a day, continue this personal development, but at the same time, I need to not work late nights so that I can get the sleep that I need. Anyway, that's beside the point. Just wanted to kind of tell you what was on my mind. So the fast is over. Very excited about that. I think this is the 10th year in a row I did the Daniel fast. So, pretty much got myself into a groove. It's never easy. I would say it's my least liked, my least well-liked 3 weeks of the year, because when you stop, I'm not drinking, I'm not using drugs, I'm not having sex, so I really enjoy my food. And when you take that piece away, it's like, it's hard. But it does restore your sensitivity, meaning it makes you appreciate it more when you get it back. And I talked in a video, I guess it popped up in my memories about a year ago, where you got to move your line, where like when you're feeding your flesh and you're indulging yourself in all these different things, sex, drugs, alcohol, whatever, party, and just the lifestyle that I was involved in, you start to get numb to just what makes you feel good, dopamine maybe. So in order for you to get back to a place of normalcy where you can just appreciate a nice meal or be, a conversation with a friend or a good movie or whatever, you have to now go the opposite direction. So if this is center and you've been living over here, like, turning up like we used to, now you have to go over here. You have to live over here for a while, and I believe that a lot of what God put me through the last, a good majority of the last 20 years almost, but specifically the last 8 years, has been a gift to me, because he was trying to restore my sensitivity and get me back to a place where I could just appreciate the little things again. Sometimes I'll go over to my mom's house and I'll just sit there and have dinner, and I just am so grateful, just for my family and just, living a mile away from my mom and little things, so that's what the fast does for me, is it makes me appreciate a cup of coffee again. It makes me appreciate, a steak or whatever. So but I'm grateful that it's over and I'm able to eat normal food again. So what else? Finances are slowly improving, which is good. I'm not wondering how I'm going to get to the next month right now, which is good. I found out today that I sold 130 books in Romania in December, which was pretty cool because, it's passive income. And I think I made $265 from that. So that was a nice piece of news. I'm actually really hoping to find people in countries everywhere to facilitate getting the book translated into their language, and then help me get publishing deals, and then split the profits with whoever takes care of that. That's exactly what I'm doing in Romania. Adelina Fronia was a girl that found me on YouTube. She reached out, she brought me over, we did a tour, got a publishing deal. She actually translated the book before I got there. I skipped that part. But then now she's kind of taking care of the business in Romania, and I'm splitting the money with her. So I say that to say, if you are watching from some other country besides America, or even honestly, if you're in America and you have connections to publishers, I would be willing to talk to you and strike up some kind of business relationship, because ultimately, I want more people to read the book. I want more people to read the book, because it makes money, but that's not even really it. There's so many things that the book accomplishes. One, it really breaks down purity and why it makes sense to wait in a way that's so practical. I've gotten so many messages from readers. Actually, Evelyn Lozada messaged me recently. I don't know if you know who she is. I didn't actually know who she was, but she's got like 4 million followers on Instagram. So when she followed me, I knew she had to be somebody. I Googled it, and I guess she was like Chad Ochocinco's ex-wife, and she's been on like Basketball Wives or some show on VH1. Maybe it was VH1. Actually, I don't know that. But she got the book, and she's now committed to waiting. And so that's what the book does for people. It breaks down why it makes sense practically in a way that maybe hasn't been explained before, because it came from someone that's lived, at polar ends of the spectrum. So I really have an understanding of it. And it also, it shares the gospel, which is super important to me. Jesus changed my life. But it also exposes people to CityFam. So there's a lot of wins in it, and I want more people to read it. So if you're out there and you are passionate about that message, you want to be part of getting the word out and potentially earn money in the process, then reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. You can drop me a DM, or you can send an email to rob@whywaitingworks.com. So working on a book funnel right now. That's something I've been spending a lot of time on, where I'm actually going to be running ads on social media and giving people a copy of the book. They just pay for shipping and handling. And that's something that I'm excited about. I really haven't done many ads. I actually tried to do a few ads in the beginning and they just kind of fell flat. So I'm excited about running ads and getting the word out that way. And then I'm working on a membership site where I'm gonna actually give people a chance to pay like $27 a month. They'll go into a private Facebook group where they'll be able to really be taught how to use this time very intentionally to become the best version of themselves, figure out really what they want, and then move the needle forward significantly in those areas, because that's exactly what I did. It was with the help of coaches mostly. I worked with like Lori Lockamy and Pete Kolash and some others, Bertrand, he's another person I work with. But I was really taught how to, okay, you're not having sex, you don't have a girlfriend, you really don't have a reason to leave the office early. What do you want to do with this time? You know, so I got clear about that, and that's what, you know, has enabled me to make big changes and do some of the cool stuff that I'm starting to do. Really, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. So I want to do that through this membership site. So if that's something you're interested in, also drop me a DM or send an email to rob@whywaitingworks. Super Bowl party's coming up. We're actually having a Super Bowl party. If you're in the Baltimore area, you can find out information about that on the City Fam Baltimore group page. It's going to be over Roy Chappelle's house. We have a Renegade coming up the following weekend. I think it's February 8th is the date at Dave & Buster's. Probably going to do something for Valentine's Day for all of the single ladies in leadership. I'm working on something with that where we'll be making them dinner. I think this is our 3rd or 4th year in a row that we've done that. And I'm also working on the Genuine show. The date, tentative date actually, I haven't signed the contract yet, is June 20th. It may be sooner, I'm not sure, we'll see about that. But I'm pumped about it. Actually, Genuine is, you know, obviously somebody from my era, but he's also a believer, which is cool, because I'm hoping before the concert is I want to sit down with him and I want to interview him. And I want to talk to him about his faith and just, you know, whatever. I just want to shoot the shit with him. And you know, I'm really hoping to be able to do more shows. The goal is once we get a process developed for the shows, is really to potentially do shows in every market that there's a City Fam. So as these City Fams start, I'd love to be able to strike up relationships with venues and bring talent to those places, bring concerts, because that's really, you know, a big part of who we are, is like, hey, you know, we're about doing the right thing. We're about becoming the best version of ourselves. We don't want to do things that are going to take us off course, but at the same time, we like to have fun. You know, we like to do things that are fun and sexy and exciting. And I think if you look at places like organizations, other healthy communities, they don't have that. That's where they drop the ball. You know, if you look at like sober groups or the church, of which we're neither. We're neither of those things. You know, there are people that aren't sober in the group that drink, or, you know, potentially even possibly use drugs, which we don't condone. And there's also people that aren't of faith in the group, and we welcome all those people. But we are a healthy community, and where I see other healthy communities drop the ball is they don't do things like that. They remove themselves from those places, actually. So it puts them out of touch of the people that actually need what they got. So we like to do those things. I like to do those things for selfish reasons, but it also happens to be a very effective way to reach people, because now you're where they are, you're giving them a lifestyle that they can actually go, wow, I could do this, you know, okay, yeah, I might need to change a few things, you know, whatever those things are, but I could relate to this lifestyle. That was my biggest thing, is when I became a Christian, I just couldn't relate to the lifestyle. You know, church was great. The people were super nice, but I was sitting around every weekend bored out of my freaking mind because there was nothing going on. So that's what makes City Fam very unique. So I want to be able to do that as we plant these chapters, potentially through the tour or whatever. We plant small groups that become chapters. Then we start doing entertainment in those markets. And again, the goal is to start a worldwide movement of people that are becoming the best version of themselves and waiting for what I would say God's best. So, what else? Media manager, something I announced last week. I'm looking for somebody. If you're out there and you make great content for Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, or even TikTok, honestly, any or all of the above, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. What's really got us to this point, City Fam, to this point up until now, with us starting chapters and creating buzz, even internationally, has been content, has been me pulling out my phone, talking about who we are, what we're doing, maybe talking about sex, whatever it is. People have reached out. That's what's created all of this momentum. So I need to create better content. Actually, my views right now are low. So I need to figure that out. I need to create better content. I'm gonna actually be starting a podcast soon because I know that we need to get more views. We need to get more content out there so that people can discover us, so that they go, oh man, I've been looking for something like this. So if you make great content, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, or maybe even a blogger, if you make great content, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. I'm really trying to assemble a team of people that are very gifted in their areas of expertise and fuel the fire. So please contact me. Again, DM me, email me at in this case, rob@cityfam.com. So what else? Last thing is, I got invited to speak at Central Christian Church in the Baltimore area next weekend, which I'm pretty excited about. Pastor Larry Kurt called me and said they were doing a relationship series on relationships, and he asked if I would come and speak. He's like, you can bring your book and you can sell it. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited about doing it. I don't know what it consists of, if I'm on a panel, or if it's Q&A, or if I'm just going to get up and share, do my Truth About Sex talk. But it's cool. It's another chapter in the book, or another chapter that's starting for me, let's say, because I really haven't done talks in churches in front of a congregation. I've done talks in venues that were owned by churches, specifically for people that came for that Truth About Sex talk, but not on a Sunday in front of everybody. Well, I think it's on a Sunday. It may actually be on a Saturday night. I'm not sure about that. But I haven't done this, so this is a new thing. So I'm kind of excited about it. But yeah, that's it. What else? Let's see who else is on here. Rob Weiderman, Christine Hughes, Linda, if you need a free DJ for your events. Christian, I really admire everything. You'd be more than happy to help. Awesome. Yes, I will definitely reach out. If you're not already on the map, if you're still watching and you're not already on the map, add your name to the map, especially if you're not in the Baltimore area, because our goal is to really connect everybody out there and help them find a healthy community so that they can make this journey. Because I get messages all the time, honestly, from people, and they're like, God, I wish I had a City Fam where I lived, and I'm like, well, do you have a faith community? If you, because that's actually, if not, don't have a City Fam, that's another good alternative. Find a good faith community, get in a small group, get on leadership at your church. I made a video, I don't know, it was about a week ago, and somebody was in the Why Waiting Works community, and they were complaining about how long they've waited, and I asked them those questions because I'm like, if you're not doing those things, you really can't complain, because you just can't sit there and wallow in it and pity yourself and feel, hope that God is going to one day see how depressed you are and come in and send you the right person because he feels sorry for you, because it doesn't work like that. I honestly believe that you're in this season and it's a gift. God gave it to you because there's something that he wants you to do with it. Your job is to figure that out. I mentioned this in the videos, that was my strategy for the first 6 years that I became a Christian. I was super depressed and I just kind of isolated, and I figured that sooner or later God will bring me a wife, because of he's not going to let me live like this forever, and he never brought her, and then I ended up backsliding. When I rededicated in 2011, that's when I started meeting with my coach, and I realized there were all these things, these passions, and these things that I wanted to do. and I had the time now to do it. And I believe that that is why God put me in this situation for as long as he did, is because he wanted me to develop that pearl. Like, you know, again, a piece of sand is irritating to an oyster, or is it a clam? I think it might be a clam. I don't know. But it develops a pearl around it. And my pearl was the nonprofit, was City Fam, was the book, you know, now it's the tour. So you have to figure out what is it that you're here for? Like, what, you know, like, if you don't have a faith community, if you're not going to church on Sundays, if you're not in a small group and you're not volunteering, don't complain about being lonely, because that is your part to do. That's the equivalent of somebody that's obese saying, that's eating like shit, and they're not going to the gym, and they're going, I don't know why I'm fat. Like, you gotta do your part. You know what I mean? I got friends that drink and they use drugs, and they're like, I'm like, are you going to church on Sunday? First off, do you got a job? You know, let's be real. Do you have a job? And then, do you go to church on Sunday? Do you volunteer regularly? Do you go to the gym? You know, who are you hanging out with? Are you socializing with the right people? Because if you ain't doing all those things and you're wondering why you can't stay sober, it's pretty freaking obvious, you know? You have to do your part. Now, if you're doing all those things and you're still depressed, then maybe you need to go see a doctor. I don't know. But first, you got to do those things. If you're not doing those things, that's the bare minimum in my mind. So anyway, that's it. Talk to you guys next week. See ya.